Youngsters love horses. Rare indeed is the young Texan whose imagination doesn't work a little faster when he sees a galloping steed on a TV or movie screen. For the very young, and for the city kids who can't have real horses, the next best thing is a stick horse. Because through a trick of imagination, a stick horse can become old trusty paint that is ridden off into the sunset. Or on a stick horse, the rider can be a heroic knight in shining armor, protecting a damsel in distress from her cruel captors. In the battle for the fair lady's hand, the stick horse can become a white charger in the vivid imagination of the young. A stick horse might also become a cavalry mount in an Apache raid, or an outlaw bucker at a championship rodeo. The versatile stick can become large, small, any color or temperament to fit its owner's whim. J.C. Mangold, with his parents, Mr. and Mrs. R.P. Mangold of Granbury, near Fort Worth, have been supplying tots with stick horses since Mrs. Mangold made her first one commercially in 1942. That year's production was 200. Over 500,000 were shipped out last year. The business began in the back room of their home. Today, the factory employs 75 people. Stick horses, quite naturally, begin with a stick. Ordinary pine dowels are transformed into black beauties and smokies. Vinyl plastic sheeting from large rolls is laid out and cut into 8-inch strips, just the proper width for stamping into horses' heads. During World War II shortages, the Mangold family helped keep children mounted by using everything from oilcloth to leatherette for the horses' faces. Each head takes about 150 square inches of plastic. Every stick horse worth riding must have a bridle and reins constructed of plastic cord. Then every bridle must have a bell. The small bell is affixed with a rivet right where the bridle attaches to the bit. While the bridle is being made, odd-shaped pieces of plastic are receiving a painted design that will transform them into the pleasant faces of trusty steeds. The face and harness are applied by a silkscreen process. Paint is squeezed through a design in a silk screen directly onto the plastic. After the paint has dried, the right and left sides of the head are sewn together. Between the two halves, in just the proper place, are stitched 2 perky plastic ears. Then comes the bridle. Some stick horses are bad about losing their harness, but not the Mangold breed. Their bridles are sewn on tight, just as is the shaggy cotton mane. At this point, before it is stuffed, each head is closely inspected for any irregularities which would mean rejection. Most heads pass the test because the employees are experienced stick horse seamstresses who know all there is to know about stitching together a thoroughbred pony. Then the heads are given a full quota of brains made of Texas-produced cotton fiber. The head stuffing machine used was recently developed by the manufacturers. Sticks are painted twice. The first coat is a solid color, over which a swirling pattern is applied for added appeal. At the end of the assembly line, the stick finally meets the head. It is assumed that every horse is in for some rough riding, therefore each head is securely fastened onto its stick. At this point, most horses are pronounced ready to ride. However, there is a deluxe model now being bred at the Mangold stables. It comes complete with a padded western saddle. This model is for the tenderfoot who doesn't ride bareback. Once primarily a Christmas item, today the stick horse is a year-round toy. The factory will produce and sell 750,000 horses this year. This is quite a record for an industry which began in a cottage. Thanks to an enterprising hobbyist who made a successful business out of what she enjoyed doing, children everywhere are riding their own Texas-made ponies. A horse that can change to suit the rider's fancy, but always a safe and trusty steed for small fry.